So for the last tweet, I'll leave it off with Diana from Filipino Food Lab, and I'll kind of lead into why. So Diana writes, here's the deal. We'll stop calling you Filipinx when you stop voting for the progeny of dictators and dictator-esque politicians, okay? Or stop doing that and we won't. I'm here for identities and identification. Hashtag tired of the Filipinx debate. Hashtag X is here to say hashtag hot take. So the reason why I want to end with this tweet and highlight this tweet is because it really shows the underbelly of what's going on here, right? It shows them the true colors. So on the surface, they can talk about identities, identification, inclusivity, all they want. But with this one tweet, they show what the Filipinx narrative and advocacy really shows, right? This is linguistic imperialization. Moreover, this is linguistic intimidation. What this person is saying is, we're gonna hold Filipino hostage unless you do and you vote the way we want you to vote. We're gonna denigrate your language unless you do what we're gonna tell you to do. Like, how effing crazy is that? Like, the fuck you are, We're gonna continue to embrace Filipino. We're gonna continue to smash Filipinx. Hey yo, what's up guys? So I'm coming to you with another video. We're talking about Filipinx. Filipinx is again trending again on YouTube, on Twitter, and so because of San Diego Comic-Con, because of woke Filipinos, woke people in general. So with that said, shall we begin? But first, of course, if you're new to my channel, what is up? My name is Mitch, Maverick Mitch. Hey Mitch, Mitch with the call sign on, and pretty much I like talking about what I talk about. So, current events, reviews, pop culture, social political commentary, be sure to check out all those videos as you're finishing this video. And of course, please like, share, and subscribe as it feeds the algorithm. No, really, like, comment below because YouTube is doing the most with the algorithm, losing views across multiple channels, so help a Filipino out. Alright, so getting on topic, we're talking about Filipinx because of San Diego Comic-Con and their woke nonsense that they're doing, right? And so there was a panel about Filipinx, using Filipinx type of thing, nonsense. We'll get into it, right? But when it comes to this Filipinx stuff, I'm probably the number one on YouTube talking against Filipinx. So I've done so many other videos about it. And so if you're kind of like new to the whole what's going on here, it's exactly like Latinx, Womenx, all of that. It's supposed to be this gender neutral stuff, but that is only surface level, right? I believe there's undercurrent. I can probably talk about that a little bit later. But when it comes to Tagalog, when it comes to Filipino, and again, Tagalog is not the main dialect, but it's widely used. There's no official Filipino language, but anyway, Filipino in itself is gender neutral, right? So the Tagalog language, we don't say he or she, we say siya and sila, right? And there's no X in the Tagalog language. So this is really foreign stuff, not even coming from Filipinos. So really it's not only it's not popular, but it's not even something that even is necessary, right? And so we can get into all of that, but I kind of want to dive into who's talking about this and what is going on here. Also, real quick, before I get in topic, I kind of want to do a quick disclaimer I'm just putting it out there, right? And so, when it comes to Filipinx, I really don't necessarily care how you want to identify on an individual level. My issue is when you say Filipinx represents all Filipinos, when Filipinx is only used by the minority of the minority, so how can you say that it's used for the majority, right? And so, a lot of the more vocal of the Filipinx people want to erase Filipino altogether, right? So that's where my issue is. So if you identify as Filipinx on an individual level, that's fine, but you can't say all Filipinos are Filipinx. So that's my main issue, why I'm so passionate about Filipinx. So with that said, let's get into this. Okay, so next I kind of want to shout out to some of the people that's talking on this topic because I like people talking about this. It gives more awareness to what's going on and hopefully red pilling normal Filipinos that like this woke stuff is getting too out of hand. So shout out to Dante's Rant Room. Shout out to Mr. Behavior. Yellow Flash also did a video on this as well. So I want to give a shout out to that. And shout out to my friend Felix on this topic too. So I kind of want to start off with this and then kind of go into it a little bit further. So he writes, I got a buddy attending Comic-Con San Diego, California right now, and holy crud, he's right about the woke R-word events being held there. Quotes, does the general population know how many Filipinx people are behind favorite media? end quote, right? Going into the actual topic, right? And then he writes, as an actual Filipino from the motherland, I would say zero. Because no self-respecting Filipino, wherever he is in the globe, calls himself Filipinx. Actually, I'll double down and use Filipinx in the same vein as how woke turned out in the long run. Filipinx, derogatory, people who espouse leftist ideology and confuse views on certain realities such as gender, and who happen to have Filipino ancestry, usually American, but can also be homegrown, often have pronouns in the social media bio. Alright, so right there, base, and you know, he's right, because the one thing that I always say about Filipinx is on the surface level, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be about identity and inclusiveness and all that stuff, but on the underlying comment, and this is what I was trying to allude to earlier, underlying is that there's a sense of cultural Marxism in which they want to erase Filipino in general, right? There's this idea about this postmodernism which needs to deconstruct Filipino and deconstruct Western civilization and colonialization. This is the words they always use. Deconstructing the colonial mindset, right? And so to have a word Filipino is problematic to them because it's supposed to be this idea of embracing colonialism, whereas people don't care. Like right now, a lot of people just want to have a stable job. No, in general, all times, people want to have a stable job, food, feeding their kids, having safe things for their family. They don't really care about this Filipinx. This is the social justice that people don't really care for. If you want to talk about people poverty, if you want to talk about like natural disasters, especially in the Philippines right now, there was an earthquake, good, great. But when you're talking about something woke, talking about a word like Filipinx and erasing Filipinos, it is so nonsensical that is your problem right now, right? And so going into this, right? And so this is the main one that people have been trending and what people got in light of. So this is coming from the actual San Diego Comic-Con Twitter, right? So at Comic-Con, right? So they write, Filipinx voices in pop culture was fun and educated for all Filipinx. Panel discussing Filipinx influences behind your favorite media. Snapshot Edward S. So they had to focus on Filipinx 3 times just to nail it. And so not gonna happen. This isn't like maybe it is. Maybe this is like the Beetlejuice. You have to say it 3 times in order something to happen, right? But it's not gonna happen. This is the whole like Mean Girls fetch. Stop making fetch happen, right? So next thing up, we'll go into comments and everything, but one thing that I want to say about this real quick is because as much as I want to laugh about this and point this out, and I mentioned this to other people, like because a lot of people are laughing about this and saying this is woke nonsense and ridiculous, and I agree. But the fact of the matter is, these are the Filipino voices that are in the industry, like the same voices that are in academia and in student organizations and in all this other industries and entertainment and all that stuff that are uplifting this Filipinx that is unpopular and not really necessary in general, right? So the thing that I want to drive here, it is alarming that these are the people who are representing Filipinos, right? And so if you yourself are a creator, like whether you draw or you do short stories or you're an actor or you're a YouTuber, I think it's important to fight the culture war, and this is one of the instances, especially when it comes to the Filipino side of the Filipino front of it, you know, and we had to embrace Filipino smash Filipinx, right? So yeah. So next, I want to go into the comments because they're fire, they're base. I want to go into this because again, people are embracing Filipino and they want to smash Filipinx, right? So we got this one person saying it's Filipino or Filipino with a P, Filipino or Filipina, right? And so there is no Filipinx, and you insult us by continuing to foster that this nonsense exists. Agreed. And so really quick with why, for the people that don't know why there's a Filipino with an F, Filipino with a P, right? And so really in the Tagalog language there is no F. It's borrowed. Like there's a lot of Spanish words but they're all loan words. There's some dialects in Philippines that actually still speak Spanish, but for the most part when we use Spanish words, it's loan words. We don't use Spanish grammar and everything. But so in this case, when we use the P, it's really because there's no F in the Tagalog language. So that's why if you ever see like Filipinos mix up, especially the older generation, they mix up the P's and the F's. This is the exact reason, because it's interchangeable, right? And so Next one. So this person writes, imagine being so detached from your native language that you think you need to adapt another culture to seem inclusive and gender neutral. Base. So this next person writes, please just use Filipinos like a normal person. Stop with the Filipinx nonsense already. Filipino is already gender neutral. Again, base. Again, this person is writing, and again, a lot of the stuff is saying the same things, right? And you're seeing all of these comments and likes and everything. So this shows how unpopular Filipinx is, right? And so this person writes, it's Filipino, not Filipinx. The term is neither masculine nor feminine. It's just the way we call ourselves. Filipino. Filipino is already gender neutral. Base. So we actually have this person that's a trans woman, right? So as a trans woman from the Philippines, I implore you to stop this nonsense. So at least this person from the Philippines gets it, you know? Like, they may be transgender and all this other stuff, right? But at the very least, they can understand this is my identity, but my identity does not reflect all of us, right? And so this person recognizes, I would imagine, that Filipinos represent all of us, right? And this Filipinx, it does not apply to all Filipinos. So again, this person echoes the whole Mean Girls thing, so stop trying to make Filipinx happen, referring back to Mean Girls. Love it. Right? Last one, we're gonna go with this last one, right? And so this person, y'all getting dragged for this one, and it's a laughing one eating popcorn. Totally love it, and it speaks to everything about this, right? So for the last tweet, I'll leave it off with Diana from Filipino Food Lab, and I'll kind of lead into why. So Diana writes, here's the deal. We'll stop calling you Filipinx when you stop voting for the progeny of dictators and dictator-esque politicians, okay? Or, you know, stop doing that and we won't. I'm here for identities and identification. Hashtag tired of the Filipinx debate. Hashtag X is here to say hashtag hot take. So I'm gonna leave it off with this next one. She follows right after. So if she changes her names, right? It's Diana of Filipinx Food Lab, right? And so she writes, we're sorry for the ignorant words regarding Philippine elections, and we are sorry for triggering others' trauma. We'll do better. Like, y'all dumb. Y'all are dumb. So the reason why I want to end with this tweet and highlight this tweet is because it really shows the underbelly of what's going on here, right? It shows them the true colors. So on the surface, they can talk about identities, identification, inclusivity, all they want. But with this one tweet, they show what the Filipinx narrative and advocacy really shows, right? This is linguistic imperialization. Moreover, this is linguistic intimidation. What this person is saying is, we're gonna hold Filipinos hostage unless you do and you vote the way we want you to vote. We're gonna denigrate your language unless you do what we're gonna tell you to do. Like, how effing crazy is that? Like, the fuck you are, you know? We're gonna continue to embrace Filipino. We're gonna continue to smash Filipinx. Alright, so I'll end it here. I had a great rant. I think I hit all the points I wanted to hit. You know, I still need to make a YouTube short about this, about if you Filipinx, you probably can't tell the difference between a turon and a lumpia type of thing. So we're gonna do that, and then continue to like, share, and comment below, feed the algorithm, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, especially if you agreed to smash Filipinx. So see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. You can follow me on Instagram at HeyMitch. I'm also on Rumble at Mitch Lozada, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace, peace, peace. Be with you. Eka maspero tutuo.